Jonathon.
Yeah.
Hey.
No, this is just fun. This is fun stuff.
Yeah,
We thought
yeah.
So you take your pictures. You ask us whatever you want to ask you about CMS. I'll tell most of the stuff about Lingo Lounge. Probably Heath and I, both of us, we can tell some of the stuff.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah,
Oh, I can ask all my meaty questions.
you're the interviewer today. You are you're the man.
There we go.
That would be the most difficult part.
I have all the power, so it's
Yeah.
CMS Lingo Lounge 91.1.
Well, maybe could I get you to start by telling me, and the audience, who you are and what you do at CMS?
Okay. Do you want to go first?
sure. I'm Heath. I'm a uni student doing film production, and so what I do at CMS is all the sort of editing, setting up the cameras a lot of the time. But I feel like I've pivoted to more towards the editing side now.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of fun.
Santhosh. I'm started as a broadcaster in 2021, then eventually became a board member. Now I chair the board, and also the reason behind Lingo Lounge, at least very specifically to the program. I had this wild thought to get complete strangers to come sit down and have a chat about their culture, religion, language, traditions, whatnot, everything. And then it so happened, that idea got sponsored by CBF in one of the content rounds. So this is going to be very interactive. Okay, you're not going to be one-sided questions because I don't know you. I've seen you. I think I've seen you in the CBAA conference last year because of the posts and your frames. Your frames are make you stand out. Your frames.
Oh, yes, I took I'll back up them. There we go. There we go.
That actually makes you stand out among the crowds. What does a communications manager do at CBF?
At this Community Broadcasting Foundation, I basically get to tell the story of community broadcasting across Australia. So working at a foundation that gives money to community broadcasters to do amazing things, my job is to go and speak to people about what they did, the projects that they did.
Right, okay.
But at Community Broadcasting Foundation, it's very much about looking at the diverse range of community broadcasters all across the country and telling all those different stories. And there's no one community radio station that's like the other. We've got tin sheds at the top of hills in tiny little country towns. We've got big, city stations that have state-of-the-art studios and all the nicest video gear in the world to do video podcasting. And
That's where we want to get to.
yeah. Well, and then, we've got this, which is, it's such an amazing setup to see what you've been able to pull together in this space and with different types of technology that are, you don't necessarily have to have the $10,000 cameras to be able to produce quality stuff these days. And I don't know, it's just a joy working at Community Broadcasting Foundation because I just get to come meet people and ask what cool things they're doing in their community.
No, you're kind of in the right place, at least at this point in time, for CMS, because I don't know, last year was really tricky. We were just trying to get everything together. It was not so much putting money or behind something innovative or start looking at all of the digital channels. So basically, that's where it all started. I think 60 to 70% of our board are above the age of 60.
Yeah, right.
60 to 70% of our broadcasters are above the age of 55. So, it's like they want a place where they want to come and connect with their community, with their peers who are from their generation. Radio kind of lets them do that. They're not actually bothered about digital channels. But the biggest question last year we had was what happens 10 years down the line?
Yeah.
If some of you retire from even broadcasting, it's a volunteering gig, but even that doesn't happen for you. Because I know that just before you walked in, there were a couple of broadcasters who had to use mobility devices to get here and then get out. I know there is another broadcaster from North Macedonia. He does the broadcasting. His wife's on a wheelchair. He puts her on the wheelchair, gets her up here, makes her sit down, and then he does the broadcasting for an hour, and then they go back. And I've seen this time and again, and it's like, what happens 10 years down the line? What happens 15 years down the line? Do we still survive? Is there a station at all? And if there is a station, who's going to run it? Why would people come in to run it? What's in it for them? So there were so many different questions. Then we started answering one after the other. One of the things is Lingo Lounge. So we thought it'd be a nice way to get in younger crowd. People like Heath, who's still in uni, who's still at school.
Very much so.
Kind of come here and look at this place and like, okay, this is not a bad place to work. This is not a bad place to do stuff, creative stuff, even if not work.
What appealed to you about coming to CMS and doing stuff here?
Well, it's sort of radio wasn't something I'd considered doing before, and I thought, let's get some more experience somewhere. I'll be doing video work anyway with it, so be able to trial out some new ideas that I had. And I think I think radio is a humbling place to start, really. And I feel like that wish a lot of people my age would actually try radio, see what they feel, see if they like it or not, see if they want to continue further with it or whether it can lead to something else. So I think radio is a great place to start somewhere. And also, I just enjoy doing what I do. Plus, editing, I have all the power, so it's a lot of fun.
I've not even bothered about editing.
Can you explain the concept of Lingo Lounge? So what is the concept of the program itself?
This is basically the concept. Two things. Like the one that I explained to you earlier was a byproduct of my initial thought. Like, if I'm a traveler, I'm going down to countries, I need that little bit of language to communicate. Like, how do I get those? How do I go to places? How much does this cost? Or things like that, even counting numbers. And that was the idea. That was basically the idea. As a traveler, going somewhere, how do I talk? How do I do things? Yeah, so that to answer your question, that's where it started, as a traveler. And then when I said this is what Lingo Lounge is, it's basically you speak English, but I have a first language that is not English, right? And then it so happened people have different first languages coming and sitting, and then our first episode was a Portuguese and a Hindi. Yeah. Right? So think about, what are the kind of things that they can explore? Like, what are the things that they can actually talk about?
What I've loved watching the videos online in particular is seeing people find commonalities that they had no idea within their cultures. There may be a slight twist to it, a slight difference. That's it. But it just goes to show that we are all humans at the end of the day, and humans want what? They want connection, they want love, community, they care about each other, they care about their family, friends, and it seems to always come back to that.
Yeah, it surely is.
Is there anything for you that recording the conversations, I guess it sounds like your interest was technical to start and learning all of the broadcast elements, all the video elements, but have you gained or learned anything from listening to the conversations and editing the conversations?
I think a lot about it is about food. That's one thing that I've been learning about a lot, especially if I'm editing on an empty stomach. So I do enjoy those segments. But yeah, every now and then I pick out little bits here and there. I have learnt that we should be calling turkey air. That's one thing I've learnt. So because turkey's more of an insult, so we call it turkey air.
Turkey air.
That's what we should be saying. So that's one thing I've learned. But yeah, I've enjoyed basically getting a lot of the knowledge that I never really was interested or got when I was at school. So it's been nice to getting some new information, what it's like to live in some of these other countries, and also the experience of going to another country. Something which I've never left Australia. I'm a country bumpkin, so I'm new to Canberra anyway. So it's a whole new experience, and it's nice to, I guess, hear other people talk about what it's like being away from home. That I definitely relate to at the moment. So
and I find there's something very different where a lot of broadcasting, when I started at Radio Adelaide when I was 17 years old, we would do a lot of interviews over the phone. So most of what we did was over the phone, and that would be because touring musicians, you'd interview them over the phone, but they wouldn't come into the studio for a chat. Yeah. But when the Adelaide Fringe was on, they were all in town and could come into the studio, and you'd go from broadcasting being this thing where you're on the phone and you get that crackly phone voice and you're trying to figure out, have they finished talking? Do I need to fill this space? But then you get all of these musicians and artists and people from all around the world, but they're face to face and you can read their body language and get the sense of who they are, and you get to have a chat with them beforehand and a
Yes,
chat
yes.
after, and you get to go and see their shows after you've
yes.
just learned about their music or the theatre piece that they're putting on. And I think that's what I love about this environment is, sure, it's great that we can do a Zoom call with someone and interview someone from the other side of the world and learn from them that way. But there's still nothing quite like being face to face with people. And I just love it. And I love that community broadcasting gives us those spaces.
Oh yeah, surely. I mean, content is what CBF wants. The more and more different type of creative content that comes outside, this whole thing, like everything over here gets validated. Like why an organization like CBF exists, why something like a CBAA exists, why we need to get the funding, why we need to route it to someone else. So all of this kind of gets validated with more and more creative content coming out, and yeah, it so happened. Everything kind of fell into place. It feels good. It feels good. Like when someone like you comes and tells, oh, okay, thank you for tagging us. Now I've seen you. I've noticed you. That's it's basically what we also want, right? We want people to notice us and say that, oh, okay, this is something good. We could try something like this.
Yeah, and we want to bottle it. We want to take
Take-
this experience, and we want other community broadcasters to try it and give it a shot, because it's such a wonderful thing. And sometimes they just need the example, someone else to do it and go, oh, maybe we could do it as well.
Yeah,
And it's so cool. Would you say you've learned anything? So I guess we've spoken about the cultural part of listening to different people's cultures, but have you learned anything from doing the project itself and setting it up? And I guess particularly for other stations, for other community groups who might want to do something similar, what lessons do you have for them or things you'd tell them if they're considering similar?
Anything, any basic idea that they have. Okay, so the first learning is, when I started 5 years back, I was also of that opinion. I was a bit old schoolish. I was of the opinion radio is radio. I mean, video should not kill the radio star, right? So radio should be radio. But then a couple of years back, I realized no, it's radio star is already dead or probably is on the verge of dying. So video is probably the way. So the reason why again is down the line, 15 years down the line, you might have a couple of $1 million in your bank balance as a radio station, as a community radio station, as an ethnic radio station, whatever, right? But who's going to spend it? What's it going to be used for? Like if there is no people, right? And that's where the thought started. And video is probably the only way. Everyone's consuming content on video right now. Like even podcasts, they put it up on YouTube. You're listening to it. There isn't much happening. Yes, just a little hand gestures and head shakes and that's it, right? But it goes there and gets consumed via there. Yes, there are Spotify, there is Apple Podcasts and whatnot, but nothing beats video at this point in time, I guess. Like it's the rate at which video gets consumed is very,
I got one of those wrapped things where it summarizes your year of what you've listened to on Spotify or Apple Music and all of that. And my figures for podcasts was really low. And I just thought, wow, I don't really listen to many podcasts.
No.
Then I got my YouTube wrapped one for the year, and it said, you've listened to about 1,000 hours of podcasts. I'm like, oh, yeah, because I put YouTube on the TV and I watch podcasts.
Yeah.
And that is my main way of consuming podcasts.
So that's probably the first thing I would say. Start off thinking digital. If not at least doing digital, thinking digital. So that's very important. And the second thing is digital also lets you get that feedback. Radio doesn't. Radio, you have to do that one extra bit, which probably CBAA is the only one who's doing in the country. Like they do the surveys, they get it, and they can only do it to a certain extent, right? Ideally, I should be going out handing paper surveys in different suburbs, get it together, accumulate it, and then extrapolate it, and then kind of figure out what my listenership is for CMS. Whereas this kind of gives me an immediate feedback. so many views, so many comments, so many shares, and so many likes. Okay, that's good. That's data, right? That's the next bit. And then, so when you understand all of this, all you need is a very basic idea, like get people to have a conversation.
I was going to ask, do you have any advice for the country kid who maybe wants to move somewhere and is looking for stuff to do?
Oh,
Was
the
it-
advice.
Yeah.
First off, wherever you are, doesn't matter what you have with you, just start. Start doing random stuff. Start doing a bit where it's just a skit where someone gets killed. You know? Or as what I did stop motion as a start. So I had Cybermen killing people. You know, Doctor Who for those who don't know. You got to start somewhere as soon as possible and just have fun. Play with it, get to learn it. And then when you want to take the next big step, in the country, there's not a lot of opportunities, uni-wise, study-wise, to do a lot of filming or broadcasting, radio. So I would advise moving out to the cities, even though I still don't like being in the city myself. Still not big in it, but I'm glad I made the step, and I'm happy that I get to work on this, and in spare time doing short films and all the other stuff I get to do. It's also about making connections as well. Get to know people. So I'm glad I know Santhosh
I know, yeah.
and a lot of people I get to meet and whatever else I do. So also make friends. Even though that might be hard, just try.
Good. Oh, God, we have spoken for a bit.
Yeah.
That's going to be good content. But thank you for making this happen. We wanted someone to interview us when you said, okay, well, why don't we set it up and then let's put Jonathon on the spot and then.
I'm so glad I got the opportunity to come in here and be a part of it, even in a little way. This is so much fun.
So I guess it's an encouragement to the other community broadcasters.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you don't have access to some of this stuff, just try something.
Yeah.
Please do. It's a lot of fun doing it this way. And I think it's a lot better having this nice, more relaxed scenario where people can just have conversations about their cultures.
Yeah, it is. It's basically what happens on the console as well. It's just, start doing some videos. Start doing, I don't know what else to say. Just start doing something.
Something.
Heath has told the same thing. I am telling the same thing. It's all the
Just
same.
start somewhere, no matter what you've got. You know, if you have a piece of paper and a pen and a little camera, start animating that way, the old-fashioned way.
One thing that you really that you said that really jumped out to me was talking about the young man who was quite shy. His parents were saying that he was quite shy. I've seen that happen in community broadcasting a lot, where I've seen maybe young people with disabilities who, because of their disability, don't speak much, but then they come into a community broadcaster and they learn the studio and they get used to it. Yeah. And then after a couple of weeks of trying it out, they're the chattiest, most verbose, most interesting, most wonderful young people to see, and all they needed was someone to give them the space.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah, you're right.
Well done. This is amazing. Well, you've done a great job.
Thank you so much. Thank you. But anything else? Anything you wanted to ask? Anything at all? Absolutely.
No, this has been lovely. This has been, although maybe if I could get some photos of you while you're in the...
This has been Lingo Lounge. Stay tuned for more next week on CMS 91.1.
CMS 91.1.
Although that's
the one there, the one across.
Number 3.
You decide to stop recording and then someone says something amazing, like the moment.
Yes, that's the issue. I could have used that as the intro. Come on. I mean, I think when I do the intros, the bits where you have the little snippets, I like to try and find the most outrageous clips as possible.
Oh, yeah.
They're always a lot of fun.
This program is brought to you by the Canberra Multicultural Station, along with support from the Community Broadcasting Foundation Lingo Lounge, where cultures hit the mic.
Oh, this has been awesome.
Yeah. This is good. Yeah, you can stop it now. I think we can stop recording now.